All right. 1 2 1 2. Welcome back to the War Zone once again. So, let's talk a little bit about this Terrence Crawford victory over Showtime Shawn Porter for the WBO welterweight championship of the world. So as we all know, Terrence Crawford came through and retained his WBO welterweight championship of the world and his pound for pound status as one of the best in the entire world. So if you don't know, now you know. Terrence Crawford stopped Shawn Porter in the 10th round of their bout last night. And I just want to talk a little bit about these people who don't really buy into the fact that Terrence Crawford is for real. Well, here's what I heard, and what I do know is people are still going to try to downplay the stoppage because Kenny Porter, Shawn Porter's father, happened to throw in the towel in the 10th round after Shawn Porter hit the canvas twice. To be honest with you, looking at the fight from a fan perspective, I can see how it was a little premature, but on the other hand, getting dropped twice by one of the best finishers in the sport, and even putting yourself in the position for the fight to be stopped is another thing that we have to look at. Another question: has Kenny Porter seen his son that hurt ever in his career? Could it have been worse for Porter? You know, if you're looking at it from a perspective of a father to son, Shawn's a married man. He's got 2 little boys at home. I mean, do you want to see your son laid out in the ring? Especially with an individual with the skills and the power of a Terrence Crawford. We all know he is a killer. And I'd rather see my son leave the fight with all his faculties rather than being laid out cold in the fight. So I think Kenny Porter had to take those things into consideration when he did what he did, especially having that much respect for Bud Crawford and knowing his skill set and knowing what he's capable of. Overall, when I look at it, I think it was a great stoppage. Kenny Porter actually just realized that Bud was too good to sit back and risk serious injury after he was compromised by hitting the canvas twice. I've heard a lot of people say that if Crawford wins, he's the real deal. Then I've also heard other people say if he KOs him, he's the real deal. Then turn around and say, I can't give him credit because Kenny Porter threw the towel in. Not to mention, none of us have seen Shawn this hurt and dropped twice in any fight, period. I mean, even after he took a knee in the Errol Spence fight, Shawn came back fighting. He finished that round fighting, and he finished the next 2 rounds fighting. So, we also know, man, that it remains to be seen who actually is the number 1 welterweight in the world. Many people would say that Errol Spence is the number 1 welterweight in the world. Many people will say Terrence Crawford is. And when you look at it technically speaking, who has actually done to Porter what Terrence Crawford has? No one. I know that's no way to gauge a fight between Terrence Crawford and a Errol Spence. But at the same time, people, this is the narrative that people were pushing around. Well, if Bud stops Porter and Spence didn't, that should propel Bud to number one, pound for pound welterweight in the world. Despite all of that, man, I'm giving Terrence Crawford every single bit of props, man, for what he went in here and did. He is who I knew he was. He's a premier, top tier, pound for pound fighter in the world. And like I said, man, people are saying, oh, I really didn't like the way the fight ended. But here's my take on it. Don't get mad at Kenny Porter for throwing in the towel. If anything, get mad at Sean Porter for putting himself in the position to be dropped twice. You understand what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't for Kenny Porter, I mean, it could have easily been the referee stopping this fight. When I looked at Sean Porter when he returned to his corner, he wasn't mad. I mean, he was mad when he got dropped the second time, but he wasn't mad at the decision, man, that his father stopped this fight. And another reason I think this fight was stopped by his father was because Sean has a bright future ahead of him, man. As we all know, Sean Porter, man, he's this guy, man. He does broadcasting, man. I mean, commentating and broadcasting. And I think he would be, I think that's where his career is heading, man. And you just don't want to. You don't want to compromise that, man. Like I said, a lot of fighters, man, that continue fighting, man, their faculty start to leave. They speech start to slurring, man. You don't want to put yourself in that position, man. And Kenny Porter, I guess, was looking at the bigger picture when he did throw in the towel. Like I said, I'm not arguing that it was probably a little premature, but at the same time, man, he was thinking about his son and the well-being of his son, and it is what it is. Terrence Bud Crawford definitely solidified his place as one of the top, in my opinion. He is in the top two pound for pound fighters in the world. I think there's more to come. So what's next for Terrence Crawford? He did say that he would like the Errol Spence fight. As we all know, he's a free agent now. He's no longer with Bob Arum in Top Rank. So what do we see next for Terrence Crawford? He also mentioned his interest in fighting Canelo, which I think is really, really out of reach at this point. As we know, Canelo Alvarez is set to drop the belts and move up north and try to get that cruiserweight title. So, like I said, man, give Terrence Crawford all of his pops. The man keeps on proving the people wrong, man. Those people who are saying that, oh, he hasn't fought anybody. But then I know we're going to hear people saying, oh, that wasn't the same Sean Porter. Okay, so either way, bro, the fight was stopped. So that go down as a TKO. And in my opinion, there's no asterisk next to that, because if you put yourself in a position to have a towel thrown in on you, then obviously there's something wrong. But anyway, that's all I got, man. Give this man his props. I'm giving this man his props. Like I said, I knew he was who I knew he was. And Shout out to Sean Porter for the class and the great sportsmanship and professionalism that he showed. But once again, people, man, Bud Crawford is a problem. And that's all I got for you. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the bell icon for notifications.